So that's that. Down here you've got a series of additional controls, and you can choose the input configuration. So obviously I changed the channel configuration there, but I can change each of these channels independently as well. So depending on your input configuration, that could be potentially useful, or maybe it isn't. I don't know. It's again, this is, I don't know what people's potential applications for this might be. I know I have my own, but if it's useful to anybody, then I shall be very pleased. Wherever you put the speakers, or sorry, the input channels, again, the amplitude of those can be increased or decreased, and once again, the whole lot can be rotated in either direction. Incidentally, these little arrow things on the end, oops, let's turn that, stop, can be used to flip them around by degree. This center control button here, click on that, and that allows you to move the center around a bit, which, well, let's put this back to circle 8 a minute, and then you should be able to see it move to one side or the other. Again, you can't hear it, I'm afraid, but you can hear it move from left to right anyway. Yeah, so I think that's that. Then there's these other tabs as well. Automation is very basic. It's just a way of allowing you to move or do an automated move of that center point of your series of channels. So if I draw a little line here, a squiggle, maybe bring it back to the same place again, I can just get it to follow a path, and I can specify a speed at which that should happen. So again, I don't know how useful that might be, but it's something. Again, if anybody has any ideas as to how that might be improved or made more useful, then please let me know. So I'll stop that. And then finally, you have an attenuation thing. So obviously, this is just a level attenuation. There's no reverb as you get further away from the centre. I haven't really decided how to implement that, bearing in mind that the speakers are all so movable, but it may be something to implement later on. So in the meantime, there's something akin to a sort of an inverse square attenuation here, but that can be modified. The sort of curve can be modified, and you can change the scaling of that. So in terms of the distance away from the loudspeaker, how long it takes to attenuate to 0. And if you're excited by such things, and I hope this doesn't make this crash, you can show attenuation in the LCD, which will change again if I change this. So that happens, and then I can, by changing these, you can change the attenuation so that it isn't necessarily a direct attenuation from the speaker as it gets further away. So that's that, and then let's go back to a sort of normal one. I'm just going to stop this one for now and add another unit. So you just click here to add another unit, and it gives you an option for how many channel inputs you want. So I'll just choose the 2 this time. Again, I've chosen a sound file as input, and this works in exactly the same way. So I just need to switch the thing on, and I can choose how to where those channels should be in relation to the center. A third one, let's choose a different type of input this time. Let's choose mic and line. I only have 2 inputs for my mic and line, so I might just as well just leave it at 2 again, and you can hear me talking into my microphone now, and you can also see it. So that is also being spatialized, and once again I can't see where those things are, but if I do that, then I can. So let's do that, and then move this. Whoops. You'll notice that whichever of those units I have selected the center control on it moves all of them, which might be a bit irritating. I'm not sure, but anyway, there you are. There's my yellow moving. So, and then finally, as I say, there's the max MSP input, which if I hover over here, then it gives me instructions as to how to set the channel outputs from my my source patch. And it's disappeared. Let's put it back. Now I think this is actually wrong. This should in fact be send from 4 Orbit2D channel 1, because this is unit 4. I haven't had a chance to check that out. I think that's what happens. So I'm sorry, I think that's wrong. But anyway, you get the idea. Basically, you're sending to the appropriate channel, which would be in this case channel 4 Orbit2D, obviously, and then the channel number for each of these input channels. And that's, I think, about it. So again, it could be useful. I think it could be useful, obviously, for spatializing upwards from, say, stereo to 8-channel, but then there are other tools to do that. What there aren't so many tools for doing, for example, are quick mixing to 5.1, say, from an 8-channel input, or indeed for going to more, considerably more outputs. So, for example, and I'm going to quit this, or at least close it for now and start again. Okay, open this again. Now, I could choose to have 30 outputs, and then however many inputs. So let's choose 8. Oh no, actually no, I'm not. I'm going to choose 30 inputs. So there are 30 inputs there. Okay, that, and it'll take a while to make that. Now, bearing in mind I'm working on quite a slow machine here, so assuming it doesn't crash, it should still work, but it actually peaks. Now, by default, the channels are always placed in a circle for, with one going around to however many, the largest amount. But this Orbit was used when I made my canvas effort, and so for that I placed the speakers in a grid formation like you see there. So I can do exactly the same in the unit, because I've chosen a 30-channel input, or I mean I could, you'll see when I open this up that they will all open up. So I could have my 30 channels in a circle, but sort of obviously distributed around that space. But I could, for example, have a canvas input and a canvas output. So my 30 channels in a kind of grid of a 5x6 grid, as you see there. And let's bring this down a bit so that they're on top. And then, assume I haven't got a 30-channel input file here, but I could then have the whole lot rotate, which I thought was quite pretty. If well, I mean, hopefully it could be useful as well. So that's that.